It's up to you, New York, New York.
Hello. How we doing? Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. We got a lot of NBA to speak on, and unfortunately, I got to talk about the Yankees, even though I don't really want to. With me today, my guy, my co-host, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx. How you doing, bro?
Knicks in 5, baby. Throwback Thursday. Let's go.
Knicks in 5 on that Throwback Thursday. Hit Cancun, Wembe. All right. We got a lot to speak on. First and foremost, big shouts out to Landry Shamet,
Yes.
taking the pay cut,
Yes.
being able to come back and try to run this thing back. Of course, Jose Alvarado got rewarded for his efforts, getting his grandest payday recently. But the Knicks did lose a huge cog in the paint. Happy trails to Mitchell Robinson, who is now headed to the hated Boston Celtics. But he got his money. He got his ring, as he promised he would get us a ring. And truthfully, there's no bad feelings here, Idris, in terms of Mitchell Robinson's departure.
No, of course, he is the enemy now because he's Boston.
Of
it's
course.
I don't have any hate to talk because, he did what he did. I am grateful with Mitch. He's a good guy, great person, everything great about him. But brother, we love you, but you're the enemy. But we love you. We don't hate you. We hate Boston, but we love you.
This would feel a little different if I felt that the Boston Celtics were a legitimate threat to the Knicks next year and beyond, which right now I do not feel that way.
I don't either.
In large part because of the huge blockbuster trade yesterday. The Boston Celtics get a litany of draft picks as well as Paul George, Mr. Magician, Mr. Disappearing Act in the playoffs last year.
Right.
Paul George to Boston. And are the Philadelphia 76ers getting Jaylen Brown? And I got to say, Idris, for the Philadelphia 76ers, this is a nice little haul because I think it's kind of crazy, the disrespect that Jaylen Brown was getting. Now, you go from trying to be the Boston Celtics, adding Giannis, you fall short of making that happen. The Miami Heat end up making the deal. Mm-hmm. And now you pivot on Paul George and move your franchise point guard. On what planet does this make the Boston Celtics better? I get that you're getting picks, but nothing in the NBA draft is guaranteed. You just got rid of a top 5 point guard in the NBA.
At worst, I agree. I didn't understand the trade. And
to a division rival.
To a division rival, right? And a division rival, they did what? Beat them in the playoffs.
Coming back from 3-1.
Right. So I think this will make Philly better. I think they need more picks. As for Boston, they got the picks, like I said, no picks is guaranteed. But I think with Paul, I'm not. I've never been sold on Paul George, man. I mean,
Well, Paul George had his peak, and he's had like a lot of different areas of his career where you could say that was a nice little season he had. But truthfully, Paul George is not what he used to be. And he came up hella small in the playoffs with the 76ers last year against our Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And as Jaylen Brown goes, Jaylen Brown led the Celtics to the second best record in the Eastern Conference, to an Atlantic Division title in a year where the Knicks were the heavy favorites coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with
And
you.
that's how you repay him. No Jason Tatum all year.
Right.
Now Mitch goes over there. He joins Jason Tatum. That's I like that little combo there. Yeah. Mitch is gonna have expanded minutes now. I like that for Mitch. Mm-hmm. But when I look at this Boston team, no, sir. They'll be lucky to be in the top 8, 7 in the East next year. They're looking at a play-in, if you ask me.
I agree, man. You get rid of Jason. You get rid of Jaylen Brown. Like you said, this guy carried the team the whole season. Still won the division. He carried the team the whole, and you get rid of him. And this is not a knock on Mitch. It really isn't, because Mitch did what he did for us, and those rebounds, those blocks, everything Mitch did for us counted. But you trade your best player, I say the best player, for Mitch Robinson. I mean, they got the picks, but if you're talking about next season, you gave up a lot for one season. Now you'll recover the following season, but Jaylen Brown with Jason Tatum is tough. Now you're saying to yourself, okay, we got Jaylen Brown. Now, let's say we're the Knicks, which we are the Knicks in 5. We're the Knicks. Now we're looking at them like they don't have that number 2 guy with Jason Tatum. We know Mitch's weaknesses. We know he's a poor free throw shooter. We know in the paint he does not have a mid-range.
This was predominantly about Mitch not getting too far away from his comfort zone in terms of living situation.
I agree.
And this has a lot to do with Mitch getting the bag, because it's a well-deserved bag. It's just unfortunate the Knicks were not going to be able to give him that because of the second apron. And friend of the show, Emmanuel, friend of our other friend, Jose R., is a big Boston fan. And he flat out said, well, he's sick about Jaylen Brown. That's number one. Number two, he said the Knicks are feeling the ramifications of winning a championship and having to deal or not deal with the second apron. It's the hurtful part of winning a championship. And Emmanuel's 100% right.
Yeah. I agree. And I'm gonna say this statement, and now people, my opinion, this is all to beat the Knicks.
Oh, no question. And I mean, that's what you want to do. At the end of the day, Philly's a big rival, as is Boston. Now, Philly, I like this roster, at least at the starting point of it, because Edgecomb's coming off a nice little season. Tyrese Maxey has not even hit his full potential yet.
Yeah.
Now you add a Jaylen Brown, who's going to be a nice little backcourt there with Maxey. You calm down that offense. Mm-hmm. If Joel Embiid could be healthy, this Philadelphia team is going to be a top 4 team in the East, along with the New York Knicks, the Detroit Pistons, and a team to be named later, because I don't know if it's going to be Cleveland, assuming the King goes back there. I don't know if it's going to be Orlando taking the next step.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Miami, because Miami doesn't have the bench. Mm-hmm. But could it be Indy with Halliburton coming back and a well-coached team, because Rick Carlisle's a premier coach.
You got that right.
So the way I look at it right now, the Detroit Pistons coming off a season where they're the 1 seed, they're going to be expected to do more. The Cleveland Cavaliers knocked them out. Cleveland Cavaliers were the 1 seed the year before. They are working out things with James Harden to potentially bring him back. It will be. I will be curious to see if King James goes there for a 3rd and final stint.
I think you will.
Now, LeBron James, you got Golden State. What's the value there? He gets to play with Steph Curry and give NBA fans a treat in that regard. The guy that he's most compared to. Mm-hmm. You have a potential reunion with Miami, which I don't necessarily think makes the best sense.
I don't either.
But it would be fun.
Yeah.
Of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. And if I got to pick a dark horse for where my LeBron James could make sense for a short-term situation, although off air, we talked about it the other day and you disagree.
Mhm.
I believe if you put LeBron James on the San Antonio Spurs, he brings a veteran mentor pedigree that could help the young guys. However, it could also backfire.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could help them. My thing with LeBron going to San Antonio is LeBron wants attention. We know he loves attention. And I think that might hurt. I think he could help them with the vet. If he went there,
that's a reoccurring theme in San Antonio. Attention seeking.
Yeah. I think he could be a value asset because he's that veteran, he's that champion, he's everything you want. And you know, I'm not a LeBron fan, but I give him his due. He's everything you want in a player because he's vet, he's leadership, he got all that.
He's super versatile. He's a great passer. He's a big bodied wing that could also play the point. His defense is not what you want it to be at this juncture of his career. But when you consider that the man is in his 40s and still able to play at an all-star caliber and still be a top 25 NBA player, it's a good haul for somebody depending on what the goal is at the end of the year. Now, am I surprised that he left the Lakers? Not really. He already fulfilled the father and son dream of playing with Bronny. He already won a championship there in the beginning of his 8-year stint. He has the Cleveland roots. He has the Miami situation where, you know, putting him, Giannis, and Bam could be interesting to say the least. But I still don't think they would have enough even with those three because they don't have the bench. I think Cleveland is intriguing because Cleveland's not that far.
No, they're not. They really
went to the ECF. Donovan Mitchell played a phenomenal game one, but I think emotionally he wasn't able to recover. It could work, potentially could work in Cleveland where they are a viable threat to the Knicks.
I think it could work. I really do. I think it could work. I think they lose James Harden, which I think, you know, of course, you bring LeBron in over James Harden, it's an upgrade. Because you
also could work out the books where they both play together. There is a possibility for that as well.
Yeah, they could, but James Harden, he's not the type of guy who's going to take less money. I don't know. It could work. I mean, it really could, but I think they've seen what they've seen out of James Harden, and we know what James Harden is a guy. He'll give you stuff during the season. He'll give you a few games in the playoffs, but when the crunch time comes in the playoffs, he's gone. And
I tend to agree.
Yeah, if I'm Cleveland and I want LeBron, I'm saying, look, James Harden, we're not going to re-sign you. We got to bring LeBron back.
Yeah, I do share your sentiments on that part of it. I personally think ultimately the king goes back to Cleveland for a third and final stint. I think Golden State's a flirtation. But I really don't think that LeBron in his final season in the NBA doesn't at least want to have a chance to get to the finals. And I think Cleveland gives him the best chance, assuming that he doesn't go to San Antonio.
I think it's Cleveland.
Hang on 1 second, Idris. Yo, Omar.
I think it's Cleveland.
Doing the show.
Yeah, I think it's Cleveland. I think that's his best move because, you know, you started in Cleveland, you did come back and bring a title, but you know, I think it was more than just him. But anyway, you come back, finish where you started. Just go back. Because the fans would love to see you retire there. You go down as the greatest Cleveland Cavalier. At least you'll be able to say, because you're not the greatest Laker. You're not the greatest Miami Heat. I don't care what his fans say. No, he's not the greatest Miami Heat. That would be Dwayne Wade. But in Cleveland, he would be the greatest. He might be the greatest Cleveland player, period. Go back and retire as a Cleveland Cavalier.
I think it's Cleveland, Idris. I really do. I think it's Cleveland for a third and final run. It gives him the best chance to win a championship if he's not willing to damn near play for free and have to play second fiddle to Wemby. Regardless of how it plays out, I think the Knicks are going back to the finals next year. Even without Mitch, we're going to figure out center.
Well, what I hear, we're looking at Kevon Looney is one of the guys to bring in, which I kind of like him. He's not Mitch because he's not that dominant big man in the hole, but he's a guy who can get you a 20-footer. You know, he can get you 20 points. He has a good mid-range. He has very, very long arms. God, Looney has very long arms. So that helps him shot blocking. He's a good free throw shooter. So we got a few people we're looking at. we're gonna miss Mitch. I really do wish him luck. You're the enemy, but I have no hate for him. I really wish him luck. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I have the same sentiments for Mitch. I mean, he did everything he could possibly do to win a championship. He helped the team immensely.
Big time.
It's a business at the end of the day, but I don't look at this ugly like the way I would look at Saquon Barkley going to the Philadelphia Eagles or Juan Soto going to the New York Mets.
No.
This isn't driven by greed. This isn't driven by animosity.
No.
This is driven by getting a much-deserved bag for a guy who's been through the NBA wars and was part of the Knicks when they were a laughable organization. Now the Knicks are on top of the NBA mountain, and you only get X amount of time when you're a role player to completely cash in. So I'm happy for Mitch, genuinely happy for Mitch, and I really believe that he's going to be a good add-on for the Celtics, but the Celtics are not going to be back in the championship window for a few years because they have to cultivate those picks or move those picks to bring in more talent. So we're going to find out how it plays out for them. I also like Kawhi Leonard going back to Toronto. I think that's cool.
Yeah. That moves the needle. That moves the needle for me a little bit. I think they'll be better. It's just, can Kawhi complete a season?
No doubt. No doubt. That's another guy, unfortunately, that's been hampered by the injury bug. But all in all, when I look around what's happening in the NBA right now, it's been a pretty busy offseason. I think teams are really showing ways to manipulate the second apron avoidance. I think Leon Rose did a good job with it. Keep trading back, get out of the first round. The Knicks have like 1 billion second-round picks right now. Right. And those are going to be moved for other players that they possibly need in years to come. The Knicks have a decent situation where they're going to be able to keep filtering what is needed for that bench. And, Karl Anthony Towns has already spoken about taking less for the betterment of the team, following the captain's, 100 mil, following the captain's lead. So when I think about this Knicks team, I don't think they're going to lose any hunger because this is a team that very much cares about one another. This is a team that realizes that they did something quite special because when you accomplish what the Knicks accomplished, you could think you know what it means to the city and all this other stuff, but when you actually hit the pinnacle of it and you do it, that's when it really comes full circle when you're like, wow, this is something else that we accomplished. And I wholeheartedly believe that the New York Knicks, in terms of getting along, in terms of playing for one another, I don't think it was just one good run. There's a lot of times winning a championship kind of messes up certain guys' egos. But the way that I saw guys like Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, to name a few, do whatever was asked for them for the betterment of the team, I don't see egos there. And when you have a captain and your best player like Jalen Brunson, who took a mammoth financial pay cut to ensure that they were going to have that kind of roster, there are no egos in that building outside of the guy who runs the team. But they kept him out of his second apron. So personally, I don't think that the Knicks are going to be in a big issue moving forward. You essentially got to get a backup center with a little bit of a post game to back up Karl Anthony Towns. But in terms of the overall roster, you're in a good spot. I mean, they lost Huck Porty. That's the Knicks' weakness right now. The Knicks need a backup center for Karl Anthony Towns. But when you're able to bring back predominantly your backcourt, if you need somebody else, there is a possibility that you could move Deuce McBride. Because if I look at the pecking order of the guards on that roster, outside of Tyler Kolek, I would think that Deuce is on the bottom of that.
Yeah, I agree. The great thing about this Knicks team, the fact that you got your captain, your star, because Jalen Brunson is our guy. He's
no question.
He took that pay cut for a reason. Then now here comes Cat a few years later, a year later, says, "Hey, I'm doing the same. We got to keep that." That shows and that's how players should be. That's the unselfishness. They could have said, "Look, we can go other places." They said, "No, let's run this back. Let's do this again." And I like it because now with Cat taking the cut, OG's locked up for a little bit. Hart, we got Alvarado for a minute, we're good for the next couple of years.
And when you consider that they stockpiled all those draft picks to get out of the second apron territory,
yes,
you're going to be able to move picks for other role players, like say a Dante DiVincenzo, who's going to probably come cheap after the Achilles surgery and such. So they're in a situation right now where they're going to be able to improve this roster. And I'm not saying it's got to be Dante. The point I'm making is the Knicks are in a very good place right now, a very good place where your core is together. You got to address center. You address center and you feel comfortable with whoever it may be backing up Karl Anthony Towns. Knicks are going to be in a good place for the next few years with an expanded championship window to potentially get us go back to back, or at minimum, at least get another ring, if not more, during the height of this rotation being together. So Knicks are in a good spot. And as much as I don't like James Dolan, I do agree with him on the second apron financial outlook. I do actually agree with him on that.
Yeah, and with Mitch, like getting back to him, he deserved what he got. And we both said we knew we were going to lose either Mitch or we was going to lose Shamet. We knew that. And
Shamet has more upside, no matter how you slice it. Mitch doesn't have a ton of time left at his peak, not to mention the injury history.
Right, he doesn't. And you made a point about Saquon and others. The thing, and that's what Mitch. Mitch has basically glorified New York. That's why he's so embraced, and he left out the door the right way.
Maybe it's similar to a Jameis Winston.
Yes,
a country boy being embraced by the big city.
Yes,
and I said to you on a previous show, it's been in New York sports DNA where you have country guys that have been embraced by the city, going all the way back to guys like Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, because Maris was a country boy in this, and I think with Mitch, the way Mitch left.
Don Mattingly, bro?
And Mattingly, yeah.
When Mattingly left the Yankees, he was running a farm, bro.
He was running a farm. That's what I was going to say. He was a farm boy. And see, with Mitch is the type of guy, he left out the door respectively. The team respected him. The city respected him. He goes to Boston, say he plays a couple years, say, I'm going to shut it down. He's the type of guy that can come back and retire a Knick.
100%. And he may very well do that when his Boston contract is up. I did want to hit on one other thing NBA related before we move it along to the struggling New York Yankees. First of all, I want to verify that this was real. Did Stephen A. really clown on the Lakers and call them the Snowtime Lakers? Or was that was real?
That's real.
All right. I got to pause on this for a second. Don't get me wrong. I don't have soft skin and I think it's kind of funny. I'm not going to front. I thought it was kind of comical. However, I think it's kind of like an extra reach. It's like Stephen A. always has to say something semi-controversial to keep that expanded star that ESPN keeps pushing, like with the Jalen Brunson stuff. Well, he was one of many with the Jalen Brunson stuff. Austin Reeves is an ascending player. Luka Doncic is a top 5 offensive force in the NBA. Now, I get it. You haven't had that many Caucasians or European descent winning championships. You got to go back to like the 80s Celtics.
Look, you alluding to what I'm getting ready to say, because he went on and continued to say, when was a team full of white guys, they won? I was like, well, them Boston Celtics teams of the 60s, 70s, and 80s were all white.
No question. I just think that in today's times, when you consider the European explosion, and this is just, and I'm going to hit on this one before we move it along to the Yankees. Jeremy Lin, very proud of him in general. I love that he came back to the Garden during the finals. He's a unicorn on so many levels, being an Asian player that basically was on a 10-day contract. You got Amare injured. You got Melo injured.
Yeah.
And basically took New York City by storm for the better part of a month. But this far removed from the Jeremy Lin situation and seeing him go on Melo's pod, I'll be real with you, bro.
Yeah.
I've always liked Melo as a talent. I've never been endeared with him as a team guy or a leader. And I don't care what Carmelo Anthony says or what his guys on the pod say. Carmelo Anthony sabotaged Jeremy Lin's future with the New York Knicks, and there ain't nobody going to convince me different.
He did, because Lin, that's why they call it Linsanity. Lin,
he danced around all of that with Lin. Jeremy Lin is such a respectful guy.
Yeah.
That he handled it with a lot of grace. But looking at it for what it was worth, Melo was very jelly of Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
You know, and the crazy thing is, I understand the point that both of them made, that their styles may have not worked together or it was going to require more work. And I also agree with both of them that they didn't have that kind of rapport that they were together long enough. Yeah. But if you revisit the beginning of this season with Mike Brown, I'm not going to lie to you. I was very skeptical that things were going to blow up because in the beginning of the year, you had Karl Anthony Towns complaining about a defined role. You had Josh Hart complaining about a defined role. Mike Brown broke them before he built them. And sometimes when you're taking over a team that already has expectations and certain habits and certain things that they think they're entitled to, when you're trying to, I wouldn't say change the culture, because I think Coach Thibodeau did a good job with that. Yeah. And I think Coach Thibodeau beating the crap out of these guys actually did come in handy in this particular playoff run. But the point I'm making is, Coach Brown came in and had to say, you guys are here for a reason, and I'm going to expand on what Coach Tibbs did, but this is my show. And the players bought in, because without them buying into what Mike Brown was selling, none of this happens.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I can't even add to that.
All right, we're going to move it along. New York Yankees, worst losing streak since 2023. Idris, this is embarrassing on so many levels, but I'm going to get into the why. Number one, lately our pitching, which has been the backbone of our team all season long, has been faltering early in games and getting lit up. Now, an offense that was doing just enough in the absence of Giancarlo Stanton, in the absence of Aaron Judge. Now you could add Grisham and McMahon to that list. Austin Wells missed some time. Not that he's been having a good year anyway. You bring in Ali Sanchez from the minors to kind of have the lefty-righty situation at catcher. There is anything that could possibly go wrong for a baseball team is happening to the Yankees right now. Jazz Chisholm Jr., who is a support-level guy on this roster, having an off year. Ben Rice, who was hitting north of 300, has been hitting around 188 or something during this slump.
Yeah.
Nobody's hitting, bro, and they're averaging roughly 2 runs a game during this slump. And what's also very depressing is that they're striking out at like a historic ratio, and the errors just keep coming. This team is not defensively sound and not fundamentally sound.
We look like the A's have looked over the past few years. Not these A's playing right now, but the A's we've seen last year and the year before, and the White Sox. No, you know what? We look like the White Sox has been looking. We do not look like a New York.
I'll be honest, Idris. They're only 10 games. They're only 10 games over 500 right now. Right. It says 2.5 in the standings, but the actual loss column, there's a 4-game disparity between the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. They catch a break that Toronto hasn't been able to get out of the way when they showed some signs of life. The Detroit Tigers actually might be in a situation to be buyers now that they've actually put together some wins. But my bottom line is this. If this losing streak expands to 10 games or more, how much longer do the New York Yankees intend to be patient with Aaron Boone when you consider that the Phillies moved on from their manager who took them to a World Series, when you consider that the Red Sox got rid of a manager who took them to multiple World Series and won, how do you justify keeping Aaron Boone there? You fired Joe Torre despite taking your team to 6 championships, winning 4 of them. You fired Joe Girardi, who had the Baby Bombers a win away from the World Series in 17, 8 years earlier, winning the World Series. And there's plenty of examples around baseball of proven winners who have been fired. So Aaron Boone, I get it. He has a decent winning percentage, as he should, with the 3rd highest payroll in baseball. Right. But if Hal Steinbrenner allows this shit show to continue, and let's say hypothetically, if they don't get their heads out of their collective asses in this Tampa series and Tampa really runs on them, How much longer do the Yankees stay patient? And I'm not saying this is all Aaron Boone's fault, but the bottom line is, regardless of Aaron Judge is there, Giancarlo, whoever, if your team is not prepared to perform and play, that is a direct reflection on the manager, no matter who you are.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%.
And I like Aaron Boone as a person. And I'm not going to take a big crap on him because I actually think this particular season, he has done better than in previous years in terms of trusting his gut, in terms of managing past the sixth inning. But the bottom line is that this team is not performing, and there's something going on in that locker room that we're not privy to. And when your captain, Aaron Judge, who unfortunately might not be back until August, is even starting to rip on what's going on, you have a real problem.
Very much so. And for one person, now I can see in basketball, one person affecting the team, or in football, your quarterback is hurt. You say, oh, we got to bring in, someone. But this is baseball. One person can affect, if you got pitching, but to the effect that we are right now, to where the team just looks like just stir-fried ass.
Yeah, they're bad. They're really bad.
One player. Now you start wondering, okay, the coach, what are you doing to get these guys prepared?
Well, the reality is, bro, in addition to all the defensive ineptitude and the fact that the best pitching staff in baseball has been having a really bad week.
Right.
You have guys like Caballero, like Volpe, like Rosario, guys that are nice little pieces that are playing more frequently, that are not having the success that they were having the better part of a month ago. And it's every part of what could go wrong with this roster, the way it's constructed, is happening at one time. Paul Goldschmidt's been having a terrific year. He's cooled down significantly. Ben Rice is in a really bad slump. It's all happening at once. And the bitch about it is, in the dog days of summer, you don't really have a lot of time to recover. You can pull guys from the minors. I mean, bro, you talk about bad luck. Spencer Jones had food poisoning. I mean, the hits just keep coming, and the Yankees have to persevere. I'm not saying that this is a death sentence on the season, but if something doesn't happen soon, the Yankees have to make a move.
I agree, man. Because I've been one guy to speak up for Boone and be like, okay, just chill. But I'm at the point like, look, dude, you have to you have to do something. Because we just
at the end of the day, it's about results, and the Yankees aren't getting them right now.
It doesn't even.
I mean, it could be worse. The American League is historically in a weird place this year, where there's not a lot of dominance in the actual league.
Yeah,
the Yankees are in a position where they could potentially make a big deal trade. I mean, shoot, Tarek Skubal from the Detroit Tigers could potentially be had, because the probability of him coming back next year is slim. And the fact that the Detroit Tigers, even though they're playing better, are not a World Series contender.
No.
So I do believe that, LaGrange and Lombard are off limits. But anybody else, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, there are plenty of guys that could be had in a deal to Detroit if the Yankees want to get Skubal and then expect him to make a commitment past this year. Now, you add Skubal to a rotation that's going to have Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Cam Schlittler. Yeah, I like the Yankees' chances to figure this shit out, even with the anemic bats. But that's all I got, not only on this topic, but that's all I got for today.
Oh, okay. I wasn't prepared. I thought it was more. Yeah, I'm with you, man. God, I don't know what else to say, man. The Yankees are just.
Shouts out to the New York Liberty.
Yes. And the school. Yes.
And shouts out to the New York Rangers for putting a lot of Band-Aids on what I consider to be a smoldering pile of crap. I still think the New York Rangers are spending their money erroneously, and it's going to be exposed when the hockey season starts. But I'll be optimistic for now. New York Giants around the corner. We're going to be going football heavy in the near future. One final thing I want to hit on, Idris.
Yeah.
They're stupid, and then there's just flat out really dumb. Terrion Arnold, what in the hell are you doing, bro?
Dude, somebody once said this. They're stupid. Well, that was you that just said it. Dude, what's in the water, man? What's in the water?
Bro, in no planet, if you get $200,000 of valuables stolen from you, can you justify, first of all the felonies and trying to stick up whatever, and you only get like 6,800 back? On what planet does that math? You have an NFL salary. Take the L and don't be so damn reckless and stupid next time. But this is crazy, dude. 8 felonies?
Planet stupid. That's where.
First round draft pick. The dream
round.
of so many to make the pinnacle of their profession and play in the NFL, and you're shitting and pissing all over it. I'm sorry, bro. And we spoke about this recently with Shed, but you got to leave that shit behind when you get to the next level. That's all I got, Idris.
That's it for me, too. That's a good close.
All right. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out Big Bosco Productions on all streaming platforms. You can get access to all his albums on Bandcamp. That's BAND Camp. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish up, because I got to tell you something about that, too. Go ahead. Finish.
Old Man Energy 3, currently in production. Check out Old Man Energy Volume 1, Volume 2. Volume 2 is Jazzmatical. Volume 1 is a trip through the boom bap era of hip-hop. Also, check out the dirtiest rap album ever made. Continue, Mr. Salah.
The dirtiest rap album ever made is about to be remixed once Old Man Energy 3 comes out. So be
all right. You heard it here first from the horse's mouth. For Idris, I am Richie. Have a great day, everyone. We out.
Nixon 5.
Big Nick energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this Big Nick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Nick's in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high, watch us rise and transcend. Big Nick energy, this is just the beginning. Big Nick